what is interrupt? So whenever your microprocessor, like if you want to do something with your microprocessor, you need to generate interrupt. Suppose if you want to type something, you need to generate the interrupt through keyboard. So your processor will get to know that you want to give some input. Same way. Hello. First is what is interrupt. So what is interrupt? Suppose if you want to give some input from your keyboard, you need to type something on keyboard. That keyboard will generate the interrupt, and your processor will take the input. Same way, if you want to print something on monitor, you need to set the interrupt to your monitor. Monitor will display something, right? So if you want to do anything with your processor, you need to generate interrupt. Same way, we are currently doing in our processor that we want to stop our program. So what we are doing? We are generating interrupt. And what is the work of that interrupt? That interrupt will stop your program. Understand? Yes? So what is interrupt? Because see, suppose I want to, one thing is your microprocessor need to check your keyboard after every instruction that keyboard is pressed or not, keyboard is pressed or not. That is not practical stuff. So much for it. So what is the practical stuff? Whenever you want to do something with keyboard, keyboard will press something, it will generate the interrupt that I want to input something. And your microprocessor now handle your keyboard and technique. Understand? So that's why interrupts are needed. So what is interrupt is clear? Okay. Suppose currently I am taking the lecture and phone comes. That is the interrupt to us. Right? Our normal process is taking the lecture. This is the work of CPU. Incoming phone comes, I need to go and handle the phone. That is interrupt handling. So whenever interrupt generated, you need to handle that interrupt also. Okay? Yes? Okay. Now, there are two kinds of interrupt, software interrupt and hardware interrupt. Okay? There are two forms of interrupt in 8086, software interrupt, hardware interrupt. There are software interrupt 0 to 255. Total 256 interrupts are available. In 8086, we are having total 256 interrupts are available of hardware plus software. In software, what is interrupt? INT. Instruction is interrupt. If I write INT 21H, this is my one interrupt. If I write INT 10H, this is one of my interrupt. Understand? So it is nothing but a instruction. Software interrupt is nothing but instruction. Hardware interrupt, there are two kinds of hardware interrupt. One is called NMI, one is called INTR. Okay? NMI, the full name is non-maskable interrupt. This is non-maskable interrupt. This is normal interrupt. INTR is short form of interrupt, and this is maskable. Okay? Non-maskable. What this means? Non-maskable. If my interrupt is non-maskable, so my processor is doing some task, and if this interrupt is generated, I need to handle it compulsory. And if it is a maskable interrupt, like phone comes, now it depends on me. If it is a maskable interrupt, I will not pick up the call. It depends on processor that you need to handle it or not. So you can delay this thing, but this can't be delayed. Once this pin gets activated, you need to handle it. If this pin gets activated, it depends on the processor. The processor wants to handle this or not. Understand? Yes? Clear? Okay, now these are hardware interrupts. So suppose these are hardware interrupts, there must be a hardware pin. So if you remember your pin diagram of 8086, there are 40 pins. Out of that 40 pins, 2 pins are NMI and INT. So if you want to generate interrupt, you need to connect your interrupt with these 2 pins. Understand? So if I want that every time when I press a keyboard, my keyboard should get activated, I need to join my keyboard with one of these pins. Understand? Yes. Yes? Interrupt is done. What is interrupt? Why interrupt is there? Because your processor can't do regular checking with your each and every output device. That is not possible, right? So why is also clear? So because it is not possible for your processor to go every time to each and every output device and check. You want something, you want to do something? No, that is not possible. So whenever your input output device want to do something with the processor, they will generate interrupt. Then this one thing is clear. Yes? This is all about interrupts. Okay? Now, we want to understand technical stuff. In detail, what processor do when interrupts generate? What happens when call comes? I pick up the call, I talk to him, and continue, right? So every time some interrupts come, you need to perform some particular task. Example is if int 21h move ax, 4c00h. If I have written this thing, the work is fixed. When this interrupt gets generated, I need to go to some code. That code will execute it. And what that code will do? That code will terminate your current execution. Yes? So much body.
Yes, sir.
Every interrupt has some work, predefined work. So for each predefined work, you must have a code. At the end of the day, you need to write down the code for that particular interrupt. Understand? Suppose there is an interrupt called int10h. The work of this interrupt, suppose 21h with move ax, 09h. Suppose this is my interrupt. This interrupt will print something leasi, A is my array which contains hello world. So what these three lines will do? These three lines will print hello world on screen, which you are right now receiving as a default program in your emulator. Three lines. Yes? Next time emulator open करो तो ये default program है instruction मार दो. कौन सी मुझे delete करता है What the default instructions are? The default instructions are this. What this thing will do? Whatever value is there in A, whatever value comes over here, it will get printed on screen. So, okay. Software interrupts are having two things. INT 21H. So my interrupt name is 21H. Okay? And normally with that we are transferring some value over here. Suppose 09H or 4C00H. These are called function values. What it calls? Function values. So if my function value is 4C00H, INT21H will stop your program. If my function value is 09H, it will print the things. Understand? Interrupt number is same 21H, but for different function value it will work differently. Yes?
Yes, sir.
So my instruction remains same INT21H, but what it will do? Take the input, print the input, or stop the program. That depends on function value. What you are inserting in your AH. Understand? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So if I want to print something, there must be some different code. If I want to stop my program, there must be a different code. If I want to take input, the code may be different. The moral of the story is whenever interrupts get generated, you need to perform some task. You need to run some code. Which code you need to run, that will depend on the interrupt which gets generated, right? But based on the interrupt generated, you need to run some particular code, and that code will do particular task. It will stop the program, it will print something, it will read something, depends on the interrupt. Done? Yes.
Yes.
If interrupt generate થાય ત્યારે મારે એક કોડ રન કરવો પડે. Done? Yes. Okay. So now how it happens? Concentrate. So if this is my normal program, interrupts get generated. As interrupts get generated, as I said, you need to execute some code. So you need to go to that particular code which is already stored in memory because interrupt is already predefined. So suppose this is my code which works over here. Once I complete this code, I can come back over here, finish my task. Yes, it will work same as your procedure. But this time the procedure is already fixed, predefined, right? This is called ISR. Interrupt service routine. Whenever interrupts get called, you need to execute ISR of that interrupt. If I am having 256 interrupt, I am having 256 ISR. Understand? For each interrupt, there will be a different ISR. Clear? I need to execute this ISR. Now, by seeing this, it is very much clear that this is my normal program. Interrupts get generated. I need to go here. So this is work like procedure. So I I need to know where I want to come back. Yes? Once my interrupts get handled, I need to know where I want to come back. Otherwise, the program will get lost. Always the next instruction to be fetched is saved in IP. Now ISR is for 256 different interrupts. There are 256 different ISR. So there are always chances that your code segment is currently this and your ISR is in some another code segment. Yes? So every time when you jump from this location to your ISR, you need to save CS and IP onto stack. Understand? Yes? The same thing that you are doing for procedure, you need to do it here. So this is my stack, SP pointer, SP minus 1, lower byte, lower address, higher address, IP will store here, CS will store here. It will be stored like this. Lower goes here, higher goes here, like this. So every time, whenever interrupts get generated, the first task that you are supposed to do is store CS colon IP on stack. This is the first work that you are supposed to do. Understand? Why? Because whenever interrupts generated, we need to jump to ISR. If you want to jump to ISR, first we need to store our CS and IP current session. That's the story. Done? Second task that you are supposed to do is fetch new CS and IP where you want to jump. As there are 256 different ISRs available, you need to know that for particular interrupt where I want to jump. Yes? Yes? Clear? પહેલા શું કરવાનું જ્યાં છો એ સ્ટોર કરો નેક્સ્ટ જ્યાં જવું છે એની વેલ્યુ ફેચ કરવાની પણ એ વેલ્યુ મળશે કેવી રીતે where I want to jump how my processor will get to know that so for that there is a mechanism what's the mechanism constant there is a table called IVT in memory interrupt vector table what it is vector table IVT. It is always stored on location this 2 1 KB. These locations are occupied by default for IVT. Why 1 KB? Because it is a vector table. What this table will contain? This table will look like this. As it is a part of memory which is 0 0 0 0 0 onwards. Okay, what it will contain? CS CS IP IP in reverse order. So IP IP CS CS lower higher because 0 1 2 3 concept is as usual lower byte stored on lower address higher byte stored on higher address, right? So suppose my ISR is stored in some CS and some IP. So here the value of that CS and IP is stored. That where your actual interrupt code is available. This is the table which contains the starting point of your ISR, not ISR itself, but starting point of ISR. So this is for interrupt 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. This is for interrupt 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, can you understand why the size of IVT table is 1 KB? Why the size of IVT table is 1 KB? I am having total 256 interrupt. So I must have 256 ISR. Yes? 256 કોડ અલગ અલગ જગ્યાએ સ્ટોર હશે એ ક્યાં સ્ટોર હશે એનું સ્ટાર્ટિંગ પોઈન્ટ મારે લખવું પડે 256 અલગ અલગ કોડનું સ્ટાર્ટિંગ એડ્રેસ જોઈશું સ્ટાર્ટિંગ એડ્રેસ કયા ફોર્મમાં સેવ થાય CS:IP CS is of 16 bit IP is of 16 bit so for each code I require 4 bytes yes CS IP IP ISR is stored at XYZ location. That XYZ location is stored in this 4 byte. Understand? So what my IVT table contains? IVT is a interrupt vector table. It only contains the vector. What do you mean by vector? The starting address of each ISR. Clear? Yes. Okay. Yes, I know. Now, આવા મારી પાસે આ એકનું એડ્રેસ છે. એકનું એડ્રેસ ગુણ્યા 4 બાય. જેવા મારી પાસે 256 છે ગુણ્યા 4 બાય. એટલે કેટલા થાય? 1 KB. And that's why in memory I require 1 KB of space to store my IVT table. Understand? Okay. Forget. Concentrate properly. When interrupt generated, okay, I need to execute some code. That code is called ISR, interrupt service routine. I am having 256 different interrupts. So I am having 256 different codes available in memory. Yes? બરાબર. હવે એક ઇન્ટરપ્ટ જનરેટ થયો તો મારે આ 256 માંથી કયો ઇન્ટરપ્ટ એક્ઝિક્યુટ કરવાનો, ISR એક્ઝિક્યુટ, ધેટ આઈ ડોન્ટ નો. તો એ ખબર કેવી રીતે પડે? એ ખબર પડે IVT પર. ઓકે, તો જેવો ઇન્ટરપ્ટ જનરેટ થશે, my processor will store my current CSN IP, go to IVT table, fetch the CSN IP which I want to execute. Now how it will get to know that I will tell you. બરાબર? એને CSN IP મળશે, એ CSN IP ઉપર એક જમ્પ મારશે, ત્યાં જે પણ કોડ હશે એક્ઝિક્યુટ કરશે, it will come back to your original code. This is what your normal microprocessor do. સમજ પડી? Yes. Yes. Stand up, come here. हाँ, इधर पर जाओ, तू एक बार में कोड़ जाओ, लाओ, stand up, तू इधर कोड़ जाओ, you go there, एक बार में your number is 1, your number is 2, you are IV, I am microprocessor, he is interrupt, keyboard, he has generated the interrupt to me, okay, I am microprocessor. The keyboard interrupt number is suppose 1. So what I will do? I will go to him. Keyboard માં interrupt ક્યાં છે એનો કોડ, એટલે મને કહેશે ક્યાં છે? ત્યાં 1 નંબર પર. એટલે હું 1 નંબર પર જઈશ, એને એક્ઝિક્યુટ કરીશ અને પછી ત્યાંથી મારો પ્રોગ્રામ પાછો ઓરિજિનલ જગ્યા પર આવશે. સમજ પડી? IVT is just telling me which one to execute. They are actual code. I am microprocessor. Understand the flow? Yes. Here is the hardware device which generates the interrupt. Yes? Yes. Sit. Clear? Yes. I hope this is making sense. Now point is how he will get to know that મારે 1 number ને call કરવાનો કે 2 number ને call કરવાનો. He is IVT, right? Now for that again concentrate. This much is clear? જેને ખબર નહીં પડતી હોય, video is going on and YouTube video is also available. Go through it, right? Concentrate. This is my IVT. Starting point is always 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Each interrupt require how many bytes in IVT? 4. CSN IP. Yes? Yes. Now if you know the interrupt INT 0. જેમ 21 છે એટલે INT 0 પણ હશે. 0 નો કોડ CSIP આના પર છે. INT 1 નો અહીંયા છે. INT 2 INT3 is here. Same way INT256 on some location. Understand? It will be stored like this only. Now can you find out the pattern? How my processor will decide where I want to go in my IDD table? If you see carefully, it's a very simple logic. Whatever is the interrupt number, suppose this is interrupt n, then I always want to go to location n into 4 in my IDD table. 0 into 4, 0. Fetch first 4 value to get your address. INT1, 1 into 4, go to location 4. 4, 5, 6, 7 is your address. INT2, 2 into 4, 8. Go to location n, fetch 4 value, that is your value. INT3 into 4, go to location 12, fetch 4 value. So interrupt n, multiply with 4, go to that location, fetch the value, go to that code. You will get your code. Understand? Yes. This is how your IDD table works. What IDD table do? IDD table is not containing your code. It is only containing the address of your code. And address of your code is saved as CS IP. Done? CS is of 16 bit, IP is of 16 bit, 16 plus 16, 32. That's our 4 bytes are needed. Complete? Yes? Okay. Now, other than this, okay, now if someone is smart enough and those who have understand the concept of procedure, macros and all, can tell me. First task, store CS and IP, where I want to compare. Second, fetch CS and IP where you want to go using IDP into 4. You will get there. Yes? Third step. Now you people tell me why this third step is needed.
Push flag on stack. पाछा आवा માટે
flags on stack. This is what your microprocessor do when it jumps. Why? Because this is my program. Interrupt generated. Program continues. So when interrupt generated, I need to go over here. Execute ISR. Complete it. Return instruction is IRET. Here the instruction is interrupt return. IRET, not simple return. Okay. Once IRET comes, I come back here. Yes? Now problem is, suppose at this point my carry flag is equal to 1 and my 0 flag is equal to 0. So when I execute my code, what I want is my 0 flag should remain 0, my carry flag should remain 1. But there are chances that when you are executing this code, your 0 flag becomes 1, C becomes 0. Possible? In ISR, it is a code. It can change your flag again. So what happens if I don't push my flags onto stack? When I return from this point, my C becomes 0, Z becomes 1, and I miss this. Understand? Yes? And I don't want to lose my flag values. Whatever are the common resource can be used by anyone. Unknown flag अलग छे, unknown flag register अलग छे, वो possible. Flag registers are common, shared by all the code. So it will be shared by this also, it will be shared by this also. So there are chances that here my CSC, like flags are different. After this code execution, flags are different. So here I will get different flags, but I actually want original flags. Understand? So before jumping over here, I will show my flags also onto stack. So whenever I will be back, I will pop that flag also. So my flags will remain as it is. Understand? Yes. So every time when interrupt generated, you need to store 6 values on stack. Which 6 values? CS, CS, IP, IP, flag, flag. Why flag, flag? Flag is again a 16-bit register, 8-bit, 8-bit. Understand? And whenever now you will understand what is the difference between RET and IRET. The work of RET is fixed. What is the work of RET? RET will simply pop the value from stack. This is the work of RET. But it will pop only 2 values or 4 values depending on inter-segment or intra-segment jump procedure. Yes? But the work of IRET is also the same. It need to pop the value. But instead of 2 and 4, it need to always pop 6 values. Because every time you need to store 6 values instead. Understand? And that's why simple RET instruction will not work. You need to use IRET. You need to pop 6 values. Understand? Yes. Next. Hajuni kya કરે છે તમારું microprocessor. So before jumping to my ISR, my processor is actually making trap flag and interrupt flag equal to 0. It will reset this place. Okay. How can you tell me? What is interrupt flag? If my interrupt flag is set, if IF is equal to 1, that means INTR pin of my 8086 can get the interrupt. If my IF flag is 1, that means I can get interrupt on pin INTR. Understand? If my IF is equal to 0, that means no device can send interrupt on this pin. This is the meaning of IF flag. Understand? Interrupt flag શું કરે? Interrupt flag INTR pin ને activate या deactivate કરે. If IF flag is set, that means my INTR pin is active. If you want to send interrupt on INTR, you can send. But if my interrupt flag is 0, you can't send your interrupt on INTR pin. Understand? એટલે એક ઇન્ટરપ્ટ ચાલતો હોય ત્યારે બીજો ઇન્ટરપ્ટ INTR પિન ઉપર આવી શકે. એનો મતલબ મારી પાસે નેસ્ટેડ ઇન્ટરપ્ટ થઈ શકે. થાય. Nested interrupts are possible and that's why we are using step. How it is possible? This is my code. Executed, interrupts get generated. I go to ISR. Here interrupt generated. Now we know that before going here, this will get deactivated. So there is no interrupt on this pin. But there are two other form of interrupt: software interrupt and in hardware interrupt there are NMI, non-maskable interrupt. So if non-maskable interrupt generated over here, I need to go here, execute the ISR of NMI, execute it, come back here, execute it, come back here, execute it. So nested interrupts are possible. Only thing is interrupt on INTR pin is not possible. When one interrupt is going on ISR, the interrupt on INTR pin is not possible. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next. Why TF flag is 0? TF is trap flag. What trap flag do? I think we have studied flag. Short term memory loss, we don't remember, right? So what trap flag will do? Trap flag will stop single stepping. What is single stepping? Now, if you want to trace your code, you have to do single stepping, right? Debugging in normal terms. So, before going to my ISR, I can't do single stepping also during my ISR. You can't do single stepping. You need to execute your full code in a single shot. Understand? So much buddy. Again, બધું ભૂલી ગયો. Back. I am telling you the flow from this scratch. Concentrate. Interrupt generated. મારી પાસે આવ્યો. What I will do? I am suppose processor. So if he is number 4, so my task is 4 into 4, 16. એટલે મને કહીશ he is IVD. ભૂલી ગયા હમણાં IVD હતો. You are IVD. So what IVD will do? સોલ નંબરની લોકેશન ઉપર ચાર વસ્તુ સ્ટોર હશે CS IP. I will fetch that CS IP. I will go to that location. Suppose there is that location. What store there? ISR. Before going there, I will also store flag. I will also store TFIF and make it 0. So હું ત્યાં જાઉં ત્યારે મને ડિસ્ટર્બન્સ થવું જોઈએ નહીં. હું ત્યાં જઈશ કોડ એક્ઝિક્યુટ કરીશ. જ્યારે IRET આવશે હું 6 વસ્તુ પોપ કરીશ. કઈ 6 વસ્તુ? ફ્લેગ, CS, IP, where you want to come back. You can come back, continue your program. That's it. બરાબર? હું એની પાસે ગયો અને અચાનક પેલાએ મને બોલાવ્યો, સર મારે બી કામ છે. અનધર ઇન્ટરપ્ટ જનરેટેડ. That is only possible with NMI or software interrupt. It is not possible on INTR. Why? Because ત્યાં જતાં પહેલાં જ મેં તો બંધ કરી દીધેલું હતું. એટલે એક્ઝામ્પલ શું, ત્યાં જાઓ તે પહેલાં જ કહી દઉં ફાઇલ રિલેટેડ કંઈ પણ કામ કેવું નહીં. સો ફાઇલ રિલેટેડ વર્ક ઇઝ યોર INTR. પણ એના સિવાયનું કોઈ કામ હોય તો યુ કેન ટેલ મી. દેટ ઇઝ અનધર ઇન્ટરપ્ટ, NMI or software interrupt.
Yes.
Complete the normal rule of procedure applicable over here also. If my number of push operation in ISR are 5, my number of pop operation in ISR must be 5. જો ઓછા હોય કે વધારે તો થાય શું? CSIP ખોરવાઈ જાય, એટલે 6 બાઇટમાંથી ઊંધું જતું થઈ જાય. That is not possible. So in ISR, number of push operation, number of pop operation must be same. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Complete. This is all about interrupts. આના સિવાય, okay, this is by the end of the module 5. આના સિવાય concentrate. As I said, there are 256 interrupts, software interrupts. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 32, 33 to 255. Now, in 8086, these interrupts are not utilized. They have not yet defined what is the work of this interrupt, but they are utilized in now Pentium and all other processors. Okay? હાલમાં આ processors આ interruptsમાં શું કરવાનું એ કંઈ નક્કી નથી. time defined value નથી. So 8086 is not using any of this interrupt. Yes sir. Okay? We will use this plus this. There are predefined. Okay, અહીંયા તમારે જે કરવું હોય એ થાય. તમારો કોડ લખાય. These 4 are already predefined. This is my divide by 0 interrupt. So if someone is trying to divide some number with 0, the answer is
Infinity.
immense. 1 by 0 is
Infinity.
infinity. You can't get the answer. Undefined, right? So in that case, interrupt will get generated. This is my single stage. So if I want to trace my program, I need to generate interrupt number 1. Understand? સમજ પડી? તેવી રીતે આ ત્રણ interruptમાં fix છે. Overflow interrupt. So what it will do? If my stack gets full, it will get overflow. Interrupt will get generated, right? So the work of these 0 to 4 interrupts are fixed. It is given in a textbook and it's available in Google. So you can search it out and then finalize what is the work of each of these 4 interrupts, 5 interrupts, 0 to 4. Done? Yes? Clear? When interrupts generated, your program will get changed and you need to jump somewhere else. If you want to jump somewhere else, you need to store your current CS and IP. You need to fetch the next location and you need to go there. To fetch that location, we are having IVT table, interrupt vector table. It is of 1 KB starting with location 000. Why it is 1 KB? Because it stores 256 interrupts location, ISR location. ISR is different, IVT is different. IVT contains the address of ISR. ISR is interrupt service routine. So when interrupts generated, I will go to IVT, fetch the value, whatever value available, I will go there, execute the code, come back. When I am executing the code, INTR is disabled. Okay? And trap flag is also disabled. So I can't do single stepping, I can't use INTR. That doesn't mean that interrupt within interrupt is not possible. Interrupt within interrupt is possible using NMI or software interrupt. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. આના સિવાય now assignment. It is not that short.